Hello. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I still haven't decided on like that one thing, what to do, the welcome back to my thing. So I'm sorry for that, but like it's going to keep getting cringy until I find the one. But anyway, Happy New Year. Welcome to the new year. I know it's like already 6 days into the new year and I'm very late to this. It'll probably take another day to post this. So yeah, it's going to be like a week into the new year when you see this video, but like I had to make this video. I wanted to make it. It's like things I learned in 2020, because 2020 has been a hell of a year. It's been weird, it's been the hardest year of my life for sure, but it's also taught me so many things. See, this is how I want to sound, like much better than this when I give an actual TED talk. It's on my bucket list. I need to be giving a TED talk. But anyway, see, digressing. But yeah, I have like this is my journal thing which I like put down points so that I can talk about them and everything. So, why did I want to make this video? First things first, like I said, this is the year of my life up till now that I've learned the most things in, and like I can feel how much I have changed and how much I've grown as a person. So I really wanted to document it. So like after I see this years later, hopefully we'll all be alive by then, but yeah, or if anyone else sees it, or like I just really wanted to document it. Like this time we're never going to have it again, right? And even if it was horrible and I don't want to go back into it, I do want to remember the things I learned, and I don't want to relapse and go back to being stupid. I still am stupid, but like in some aspects I feel like I have grown a lot and I've learned a bunch of things. So yeah, that's why I'm making this video. So let's take a shot every time I say so. Okay, don't take a shot if you're underage. Just don't take shots. Never mind, don't take shots. Do something. Count the amount of times I say so if you have nothing better to do with life. Anyway, but yeah, see, this is like, it's like my bullet journal thing. Look at the 2021 thing I made. So pretty, right? Thank you. Anyway, so one of my worst fears is isolation. And that is how 2020 began. Not exactly began, okay, from March. Like after lockdowns were announced and this just isolation, social distancing, not meeting people, it's like my worst nightmare. I am an extrovert, okay, and I need people. I absorb energy off of people around me, and being just with 5 people of my house was a little bit like okay, that's another thing I learned. Obviously I started to appreciate family and everything, but it was it was hard. Like starting off with that, it was very hard for me. Just like when they announced isolation and everything, it was like this year was going to be a mixture of all of my worst fears come true, because that's how it started. And then I never thought I could survive it. I did not. I was so horror struck. Like I couldn't do anything about it. I was like, how am I going to live like this? How am I going to not meet people? How am I going to do this? I literally never thought I would survive this. And like to say, it has been like I have never been in such a bad mental state that I was a few months back. Like it did keep recurring. Like I associated it with my periods, but I don't think that was the reason. But it was very horrible. Some parts of it, the way my mind was working, and it was just such a horrible place. I literally just wanted to remove it and keep it aside and not have any thoughts. But we got through it, right? That was the biggest thing that happened. Like I never thought I would get through isolation ever in my life. One of the things that helped was that my mom was at home, because my father was still working, but my mom was at home. Otherwise I would definitely have lost my mind, like completely batshit crazy. So yeah, that was one of the things I realized from this whole isolation thing, that I can survive absolutely anything. That is what this year taught me. Like I said, it was a whole mixture of my worst fears. So it taught me that if I could get through this, I am going to get through everything. I know that I can get through everything. Another thing was that I have always associated productivity with leaving the house. Like okay, even when I'm like, if I just like sit at home and study, because like that's the job I have right now, I don't think that's being productive, because I have always associated productivity with going out. And I am that kind of a person who cannot fall asleep unless I've been productive in the day. So that was one of the hardest things for me. I could not fall asleep because I was like, what am I doing with my life? There is nothing I am doing with my life. So I know some part of me is just always like, do you deserve to live? You're not really doing anything. That was a whole thing again, because I could not fall asleep, and all this thoughts about just how I'm not being productive, or like, because I associated productivity with going out. Anything, absolutely anything, and how much ever I did at home was not enough for me. So this whole thing surrounding productivity was what changed for me. That was one of the things I learned, that productivity doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have to step out of the house, and productivity is not a reason for you to live. I mean, it's not like you don't deserve to live if you've not been productive. This was like a very, very unhealthy way to live, in the first place, that you thinking that productivity is if you're productive, that's the only way you deserve to be alive. And like, I am that person who always, it goes on in my head, what is my purpose for living? Why am I living? Am I doing anything right? Just like over and over, all the spiral of thoughts, just anxiety going crazy in my head. Another thing that came with isolation, like isolation essentially means being alone. And I've never liked that, because I've always been afraid of my thoughts. My thoughts are increasingly loud, and it's not exactly a happy place up there. And I am a very happy person, and I would rather not, absorb energy from that place. Like I told you already, I am that person who absorbs energy from people all around me. So what I think I realize I need to do this year is that I focus my energy on myself. I attract energy from my own thoughts instead of the people around me, because I can't guarantee that I'm always going to be surrounded by great people or by happy people. So even if I'm surrounded by sad people, I should not be sad. Like, that shouldn't be reason for me to be sad. I need to find a drive within myself that I find from people, because that's very, very codependent, and I do not want to be dependent on people like that. I always want to be in love with people, but I do not want to need people. The thing that I realized that so badly this year, ki I need people. I have always needed people, and that shook me to my core, because I consider myself a very independent person, and like, I consider it a weakness to need people. I know it's not okay, it's not a weakness, don't listen to me, it's just, but like, I need to make it into my strength, and to make sure that that's not one of the only things that are important in life, that people, you need to be surrounded by people, or you need to be with people. It's also very, very important that you work on your own self, and you extract your energy from yourself. Like, this is one of the most important things I realized, that I need to get my energy from myself rather than getting it from the people around me, because I was hit with the realization that people are not great. Most people are not great. Like, one part of me knows this very well, but like the bigger, huger part of me that makes me will always believe that people are amazing and good, and that they have the ability to be very, very good. But like, people won't always choose that, and they are going to be hurting you. But yeah, the isolation thing led me to know that my thoughts are not exactly so bad, or even if they are bad, they're not bad, but like, they're very chaotic and very stress inducing to me. I can still get used to them, because they are my thoughts. And I got comfortable with my own thoughts. I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely done right now, because I just had a huge breakdown yesterday. But I mean, it's a road, right? Where I'm on the road to progress. I am recognizing that my thoughts, that I can be alone with my thoughts, that they're my thoughts, so I can own them. And if they're my thoughts, I can, control them as well. It's been all about retrospection and introspection and looking inside myself. And also, why do I have these thoughts? Maybe I need to get to the bottom of that as well. Second thing was second, third, I do not know, man. I'm going to have to edit this so much. But so another thing was that appreciating the small things in life. I know everyone's been saying it, But like I never thought कि I didn't appreciate things in life, because I have always been grateful. I am a very appreciative person in general. I have always appreciated even the small things in life, but I got to appreciating the smallest things. Like right in the beginning here in India, at least we like couldn't even go out for walks and stuff. So like even like if I could go out for like 10 minutes was amazing for me. Like I would, like I said, associated productivity with going out, and that day would make it amazing. That day would be amazing because I went out for 10 minutes, even though I did nothing. Like logically speaking, I didn't do anything productive by going out, but I at least went out. I'm not a stay at home person at all. So it was just horrifying. But like, okay, I digressed again. What was I talking about? What were we talking about? Appreciating the smallest things in life. Yeah. And the thing being my family, I don't think I have appreciated them enough. But like, if things were worse, worse, I would have had such a hard time living with these people, because we were living like all the time. Everyone was together, and like I said, it was hard. But it would have been so much harder if these people weren't the people they are. Like everyone in the family was just doing everything to make sure that the other person, like, somehow could be happy, especially me being the youngest person in the house and the child. Everyone wanted to make sure that somehow the stupid girl is okay. And I'm very very thankful for that. I got very very close to my parents in this time. I have always been close to my parents, that's not a new thing, but like I realized so many things, like so many small things that I get from my parents. Yeah, like I was saying, the tiniest little things, like making a round roti, making a dosa was used to make me so happy. Like this still, like I can be happy with the smallest of things. Like I thought I could do that even before, but honestly no. I realize that now, that I have always been that person who's happy with bigger things. And like wherever I'm happy with like anything, I am always looking for the next big thing to be happy about. That is like one of the other things I realized, that being in the moment is so important. Because right in this time, no one knew what was going to happen tomorrow. We still don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, even though things are getting very very better, and we're getting out of this very very slowly and steadily. But we still, like actually just in life in general, how much ever, even without a pandemic, we really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know, maybe the slab will fall on my head right now. I would die anytime. So what is the point? So that's what I've been doing this my whole life. I have never lived in the present. I have always looked forward to things in the future. Like suppose it's my birthday today, and I'll be like, oh my god, my birthday, and till afternoon my birthday thing is gone. Now I'm looking forward to the next big thing. Instead of completely being in the moment, I have always looked on to the next big thing. I am never satisfied. I am not a satisfied person. I'm not content ever in life. And like that could be taken in a good way, where like ambition wise, like I get something and I always want more. But like I think I need to take a moment and learn. And I think I did a bit learn a bit of this. Keep appreciating the things that are in the now, instead of focusing very very badly, like focusing very strongly on the things that are going to happen in my future. Instead of that, we all of us need to do that, like focus in the present. So many of my friends did it, and I always wondered, like, how are you so okay? They're just like, we had a good day today and that was enough. And that was never enough for me. A good day was never enough. So like in this way, nothing was ever going to be enough, right? I'm always going to be wanting more and more and more. So I think I did a little bit of progress, but it's still a work in progress, of finding a balance between wanting more and learning to appreciate what I have. With the introspection that came with isolation, I learned so many things about myself. So many things that I would never know before. I learned that I realized that I've changed so much in the past 2 years. Like since I left school, I am not the same person I was at all. I mean, I never thought that such a huge change was possible, but it did happen, and I am honestly very happy with the person I am and I am becoming. So yay. I was like, one of the things that actually did keep me going was that I knew that I am a good person. Somehow that is the most important thing in life for me, for that I am a good, capable, like a good person that just people will look up to, look to for help, for anything in general. Just like being a good person is one of the most important things in life for me. And I think with everything I have learned, it's only contributed in a very, very positive way to my personality. Thing was getting a hold on my stress and anxiety. So this wasn't just something that happened in this year. I don't know how it happened or what, but like this is it's again a very, very huge work in progress. Like I said, I just had a huge meltdown yesterday, but it's very like I've realized how important it is to not stress for unnecessary reasons. Like I have always been that person who's overthinking, jumping to conclusions, stressing out about things that are absolutely not in my control. Again, this goes a little to the fact that appreciating the things in the now, because like if I'm always going to be stressing about what is going to happen in the future, I'll never be happy with what I have now. And what is the point of stressing about what is going to happen in your future, other than like for exams and stuff? It's like you have to work for it. There is absolutely no point in stressing about it. I, me saying this would sound like such a hypocritical statement, because in school I used to lose my mind, completely lose my mind if I had to give exams. Like before exams, like I've always been a good, I don't think I've been a good student, but I've always scored good marks. And marks are very, very important to me. I'll say it outright. But so I used to always be so stressed. I used to be losing my mind stressed. But now somehow it changed after school. Like after my 10th board exams, I did realize that stressing and anxiety about my grades is not helping my grades. This was just an example. Like you stressing out about almost everything in life is never going to be helping you. And stress is a very, very natural reaction, but you can't let it get too much. Like I've always let it go overboard all my life. So what I have like realized is that because I am I'm the only person who can calm myself down. There will be people who are going to like genuinely want to try to help you. They'll say stuff to you like do this, do that, calm down, breathe, whatever. It's not going to help you until and unless you understand that you have to take significant steps to calm yourself down. It's not going to work, unless obviously if you have severe anxiety or something and it's a disorder, you need to go to a therapist. I am talking about just normal reactions that just get heightened when you that get heightened for no reason. I have been a very, very stressed, no one who knows me will call me a chill person, but I feel, and I don't want to be a chill person. Okay, I'm not chill, I'm always too much for everything, but I really do not want to have too much stress anymore, because like the only person that's harming is me. Because it doesn't help, guys. It just does not help. Stress does not help you in any way possible. Some stress is good. There is good stress and there is bad stress. Like if I'm not stressed at all before my exam, I'm not even going to study. But bad stress is when you go to the exam and you didn't remember nothing because you were stressing out. Don't do that, kids. Another very, very important thing I realized was that people are not permanent. This is going to sound like such a teenage thing to say, like, oh my god, someone hurt her, so now she's going to. Like, no. Okay, maybe a little. No. But basically, I learned that, I am that person who. I am the not letting go person. I cannot let people go. It's again one of my worst fears to, people around, letting people go and people hating me, all that, all of that. But like how much ever you might want to hold on to the person, it is also on the person if they want to hold on to you. I mean, you can do everything you can to be a kind of person that the person wants to hold on to, but like even through no fault of your own, this person might not put in as much efforts as you are putting in, and that is okay. That's not making you a victim, or that's not something that you should feel sorry for yourself about. Because I used to be so terrified of letting people go, but like with everything that was happening this year, somehow I don't know what happened, but I am okay with it. It's definitely a work in progress, and I keep relapsing, and I just like get very panicky. Oh my god, I can't lose this person, I just cannot. But like I think we all need to sit down and ask ourselves, is this person adding anything positive to your life? First question should be whether they want to be in your life. But like, and if you fight with someone or something like that, then you ask yourself the question that, is this person adding anything positive to my life? And if it is, do everything you can to hold on. Like, So we try by being, cool and showing that, I don't care about anyone and I'm not clingy and I don't care about my friends and I don't care about who's there and who's not there. But I'm just saying it outright. I care about people a lot. A lot. Probably too much. And I'm ready to accept it. And I'm ready to do everything that I can to keep you with me. That is just how I am. But like, if you still don't want to be with me, like you don't want to stay with me as a person, I guess I have to let you go. I cannot literally be, I will need to catch hints sometime. Like, if you're going to meet a friend and they keep saying, oh, okay, I have to do this today, can we meet tomorrow? Once, twice, most times it's genuine reasons. But when it does keep happening again and again, and then they say, okay, I'll tell you when to meet, don't go texting them again. Like, when are we going to meet? I am totally that person. I keep doing that. But like, I feel like this is definitely a very, very work in progress for me. But I feel like I'm getting better at that, getting better at letting people go, because you can't always be the person who's like, oh my God, I need you and you need to be here for me. You don't. See, another thing that came out of this isolation was that I did realize that I don't really need people. Like, I want people. That's a different thing. I do not need people. You can do everything you need to do on your own. You are your own person. You are literally your own hero. You should not be needing anybody. No one, no significant other, no friends. Okay, friends, like, please take this in the right way, okay? Not like I'm saying, oh my God, I don't need anyone and I'm going to do everything on my own. No, but like, please, I hope you get what I'm trying to say, because I still love all of my friends and people that, don't really, like, we've lost touch over the years or whatever. I still love all of them. And, honestly, I would do everything that is in my power to keep in touch with you, because that's just the kind of person I am. Like I said, I care a lot and I'm going to try to keep in touch with you. But like, I really do need to let go sometimes. And I feel like I am learning. I am getting better. At least I'm not that shit terrified about letting people go anymore. I am okay terrified about letting people go. We'll get there. 2021, we'll get there. Okay, I think that was about it. I have just recorded it in so many weird clips, and it's going to be so hard to edit because I keep talking about like the same things over and over. Oh my God. But either way, another small things that I learned was, I learned to cook, bro. Like, I can cook very nicely, not even just like, to survive or whatever. I could invite you over for dinner and give you a good dinner. I can totally do that, and I'm very proud of myself for it. So like, that was the thing, no cooking. And like, there was no maid for the longest time, so I can even do that. So now you could see I'm wife material. I'm not even going to make that joke because it's so stupid and so ridiculous and I hate it. But yeah, so I learned that, like, just basic things that everyone should know to be an independent person. What else did I learn? I didn't let myself go. That was one of my biggest, like, when this whole thing started, I was afraid that I'm going to become like my other friends. By that I mean pessimistic. I am a very, very optimistic, happy person, and I believe in that. I want to be that, because okay. And then I was always like, oh my God, I think this is going to change me, because like I said, I was in one of the worst mental places I've ever been in my life. And but I did not let it change me. Maybe I am not as naive as I was before, but like, I still choose to be optimistic. It's a choice I make. It's not because I am stupid or naive. I know, like, I know the reality, okay, realists out there. I know. I just want to be optimistic because there is this part of me who is always going to hope, always going to hope for the best thing to happen. And I'm going to let that part do it. We are always going to hold out hope for the best thing that is going to happen. That's what our motto is for 2020. Even if you're a pessimist or a realist or whatever, none of the ists, but please hold out hope that this is going to be your year. I mean, I know there is like, basically 2020 set the bar so low, even if this year was like 10% good, we are going to all love it and say it was the best year of our lives. But please don't just be like, oh my God, nothing's going to change, it's going to be a bad year. I know it's like, it just, time is a stupid concept, that it's just something that humans created, and like, it actually doesn't matter that the year is changing or whatever. But can we please be appreciative of what we learned in this year, and can we please give ourselves a pat on the back for everything good that we did in the year, even though we were in the hardest phases of our lives. I am so proud of you for surviving this. I'm proud of myself. I'm so fucking proud of you for getting through whatever you got through this year. And it's obviously not going to be like, oh, this year was bad, so next year is going to be good, or, you are going to go through so many things in your life. And that is okay. That's what makes life life. You're going to learn so many things from these things that you're going to go through. Okay, I went kind of crazy. But what I'm trying to say is, please hold out hope for this year. Please do good. Please try to be good people. Be kind. Just everyone struggled. Don't be mean for no reason. Don't, just be good people. Like what 2020 should have taught us is that just be good people. Be a little, like, have a little more compassion. Try to be empaths. Learn to empathize, even though something's not happened with you, like on the same circumstances, like maybe you haven't gone through the same thing that people have, but learn to empathize. Do not decide how much grief people get to be for the things that have happened to them, or how much trauma they have gone through. Don't decide how they should react to it. Please just empathize with them. Be there for your people. Be there for your friends. Be there for strangers on the internet that are your friends. Just be there. Let's all just be there for each other this year, okay? And on that note, Happy New Year, everybody. Once again, the last thing I wanted to say was, now that I'm going to have my boards, this is not a Happy New Year, okay? It is a Happy New Year. I'm just. Anyway, but. So I'm probably not going to be posting much over here. I'll maybe put up a few vlogs here and there if I do, like, friends' birthdays are coming up. Friends don't get any hints. We are not going to do anything for you. But, like, even my birthday is there, so we'll see. Maybe I'll put up some vlogs, but I won't be making any actual content, and I can't assure you when the next video is going to be out. But just, like, wish me all the best, okay, for my boards. And after my boards, I'm just going to be, like, all in for my YouTube thing. Okay? Bye!